Hi everyone! Happy holidays! My name is Evelyn from Markham Public Library, and today I'm going to show you how to make chocolate coconut snowballs. So these are a no-bake recipe that I found that I really like, and there's not too many ingredients, so we'll just get started. You'll find in the description there's all the ingredients listed. For the coconut though, we do have some that are measured out in the ball and some for the outside of the snowball. So make sure you don't put it all in there at once. Alright, so we are going to get started with 1 cup of oats. So I just have a half cup measuring cup, and I'm just going to do 2 of them. And then I'm going to do half a cup of shredded sweetened coconut. Again, just going to put it all in. I'm going to put these 2 things in one bowl, like so. Mix it around. And just have a clump here. And so one step I forgot that I did do before filming is washing your hands. Wash your hands before you start this. All right. So we have the bowl of oats and coconuts. Just we'll set that aside for now. And then we're going to need our stove. So we are going to put half a cup of sugar. So I'm just using the same half cup measuring cup I have. We're gonna put it into a saucepan. So about half a cup of sugar. I'm going to do a pinch of salt, which I have in my cute little elephant salt shaker. Just a really tiny bit. And then I'm going to put 3 tablespoons of cocoa powder. So whatever cocoa powder you might have, this one is natural. I also have Dutch processed ones, but I think for this recipe, either works fine. So, and I don't think you have to be too accurate with this one. So we're doing 3 tablespoons. Alright. And then we want a 1/4 cup of milk. I just have a measuring cup. A cup of milk. And we want a 1/4 cup of butter, which I already cut. And then we're going to turn on our stove on medium heat. And we're going to want to just stir it until the butter melts. And once the butter melts, we're going to let it boil just for a minute. And ultimately, we'll pour the hot chocolate mixture onto our oats. So you just want to stir it. Usually I'll just move the big piece of butter around. And eventually I might use my whisk to chop it up a little bit. But this should only take a couple of minutes. And then afterwards, there's going to be a chilling period, but I have made a batch before, so we won't have to wait the 45 minutes. But yeah, you can kind of see here that it's starting to get more liquid. You just want to make sure that you mix all that cocoa powder, the sugar, and that piece of butter around. And just make sure everything gets incorporated. So there's actually a couple of chilling steps in this recipe, which we'll skip over, but you will, if you want to make it for a specific event or anything, you just want to plan ahead a little bit. Okay, so you can see more of it is becoming liquid, and see that there's still a big butter chunk, so we're just wanting that to get melted all the way. And making sure it incorporates all of that cocoa powder. Alright, so it's almost all the butter is melted, which means we're going to let it get to a bit of a boil for a minute. But you'll probably want to keep stirring it a little bit. And again, this is a no-bake recipe, so once we have this boiled and onto our oats, we basically just chill it and then make them into balls. So and try to get those cocoa powder lumps just out by just stirring it more. I'll leave it for a few seconds while it gets to a boil. And then in the meantime, I'm just going to take out the prepared batch. Okay. So not boiling yet, so we'll just wait a little bit more. Our next step after the chilling period, so yeah, once this is boiled and we've stirred it with our oats and coconut, it'll chill for at least 45 minutes. And after that, the next step will be to cover the chocolate coconut balls with more coconut. And it is better if you have a food processor that you can make your coconut flakes even more tiny, I guess, just so that it adheres to the coconut ball a bit better. So now it's kind of coming to a boil, you can see. Whoops. And just don't want it to get burned, so I'm just going to stir it a bit, but it'll just be a minute with it boiling. So we'll wait 1 minute or so. So yes, as I was saying before, if you can use a food processor to change your coconut flakes into even slightly tinier coconut flakes, then that's probably better for sticking onto the chocolate balls we're gonna make. All right, that's probably good. So now I'm going to pour it into my oats. Just with my spatula. And then I'm just gonna stir the hot chocolate mixture with my oats. And I do think this is probably a good recipe to try as a family. There's no actual baking, but the bits with the stove and the pan is probably best for the grown-up to do. And yeah, we're just gonna mix it together so that all the oats and the coconut is covered in chocolate. And so you can see, I'm just gonna make sure I get all of it. And this mixture should make about 15 snowballs or so. So once it's all mixed in, I'm just gonna cover it with some cling wrap and put it in the fridge for at least 45 minutes. Okay. There we go. And then next, this is my done batch, so you can see it's a lot more solid. I have myself a cookie scoop, so I'm gonna use that. If you don't have one, then you could probably just use a tablespoon and try to do that. But basically what I'm gonna do is just put my chocolate into a scoop, make it into a little ball. So this is gonna get messy, but I feel like that's okay. And it's almost always already mostly a ball. But then I'm gonna roll it around in the coconut. And you will want to then let it set again for 30 minutes before you eat them. But I'm just gonna grab another plate to put the finished ones. So I'm just gonna, and that's basically all you have to do. And that's our activity for today. So again, hope you're having a wonderful holiday. If you do choose to make this recipe or have any other great ones you want to share with your community, please just tag Markham Library either on Instagram or Facebook, or hashtag MPL from home on any one of your pictures, and we're going to be more than happy to see what you're up to this winter. Thanks.